Right, I'm going to take it that this is actually working here. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to start off with a wee bit of a laugh, you know, something just to make a point, and then I'll discuss it a wee bit more, because, you know, we still have these people who are blatantly denying reality, trying to come up with any kind of sophist argument that they can find, and trying to confuse people. Now they're doing this with their images and their so-called video, but we'll talk about that in a wee minute. Let's get to the wee bit of fun here, just to make a point, because, well, we'll see. Right, Xander, what I want you to do, right, is I want you to see the water that's in that tub there. I want you to try and get the water into that tub, right? And you can pick any one of these things here to get the water into that tub, right? So you go, you see if you can get the water into the tub for me. Why are you picking that one? Because what? Right, go then. So why did you not choose these ones?
Because they don't work.
Why do they not work?
Because that doesn't have a hole, that doesn't have a hole.
Doesn't have a hole?
Yeah.
Does it need to have a hole to get the water in it?
Yeah.
Why? Why does it need to do that? Because why? Just because that's what it does. Right, so get more water for me and put it in there. Cool. Cool. So, that's a 4-year-old who doesn't understand any of these concepts, right? But at that young age understands that he has to have some sort of container to move the water. Okay, so again, you know, I don't really know why I'm having to point it out to people, but you know, as Xander, my handy helper here, has shown me, we have liquid, right? Now, the surface of bodies of water, when they're not flowing, are level in every direction, right? To suggest that if I submerge this ball in here, that I'm going to get a silhouette of the ball in the top of the water is absolutely nonsense, ridiculous, right? Now, it does not matter how much I increase the size of that body of water. Here on Earth, the physics do not change, right? When you get to the oceans, they do not change. All the observations that are being done over water, you know, and these silly people who are trying to put these sophist arguments across, it is total nonsense and a waste of everybody's time, right? We know how liquids upon Earth behave. Any body of water that you're viewing over, if the water is not flowing, right, i.e. an ocean, you know that at every point, from this point to this point to this point to this point to the middle, every single point of that body of water is level. Right? Here, 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 here. That tub is not sitting on even ground, but the water within the tub is perfectly level and flat. Okay? Now, we get meniscus, right? We get surface tension. Now, I could get a glass or a mug or whatever, and I can fill it up and I can get a slight tension on the top of the water. But, you know, again, this is sophism. Nobody is claiming that the earth is a cup. Okay, so when these people show you that, all they do is prove that the water must be contained. It's as simple as that. Right? Now, I don't know how many times I can show how liquid behaves. If anybody is trying to, you know, tell you that, oh, on a big scale, on some unspecified large scale, the water behaves differently, it does not. Like, right, look. This body of water, okay, and it doesn't matter if I start to bend it here and bend it here, the surface will never display that convexity, ever, right? It's nonsense. There is no other accurate tool for establishing that we are on a level plane. What the full dimensions of that plane are unknown to me. and unknown to many other people, the majority.
Dad,
What?
changes colour cold.
Yeah, the brick changes colour. Why do you think the water, why is the water not sticking to that? Why? Why is it not sticking to it? It just falls off, doesn't it? Do you think the world's a ball?
No,
Why?
it's a bowl.
A ball doesn't hold the water, does it? So, there you go, the 4-year-old made the point. I never prompted him. I told him I was going to do a wee test, and his test was, how are you going to transport the water over to that other tub? And his natural common sense logic tells him that he uses the cup because he knows in his mind that it has to be contained. Right? Because balls and the exterior of shapes and objects do not hold water, regardless of their size. Okay? So as I say, I extend that basin and I keep scaling it up, scaling it up, scaling it up, scaling it up. Does not matter the size. The physics here on Earth, the middle of the ocean, it's not somewhere where there's the physics are different from their own land or on a loch or a lake. Right? So these sophists who continue to put these observation videos out of cameras looking over bodies of water, trying to claim that that is curvature. You cannot have curvature on a body of water. Doesn't matter how many marbles you have in your mouth. Right? These people are at it. They cannot be taken seriously. They cannot be looked at as scientific in any way, shape or form when they continue to deny this natural element, this every single day observation that every single one of you can test and repeat for yourself. There is no arguing against it. They have nothing. They will never produce a practical example because it's impossible. Right? So, you pass this to any so-called glober, I'll set them a challenge. Refute this with practical example. Produce for me a model of your spinning globe, a rock, a potato shaped rock with the oceans on it. You can't, right? And it's even ridiculous when I listen to myself saying it. So, you don't need a lab, you don't need somebody in a white coat. There's a 4-year-old telling you how it is, showing you how it is. Now, I don't want to hear from anybody anymore who denies this, unless you're coming to me to have discussion and you accept the actual reality that you're in. You're not going to get anything from me. You can take your camera observations and ram them, right? You finished? You finished? No. I mean, I could get more concise and show you close up and show you meniscus and show you these things, but I'm tired of it. I really, you know, as I say, if a 4-year-old is getting it, right, without any prompting or anybody teaching them, then adults out there should be getting it. So the sophists, all these intellectuals who speak like that, you're being embarrassed by a fucking 4-year-old. Okay? Now get a grip. And especially the Scottish guys out there, you are an embarrassment to Scotland, denying natural physics. Okay? Don't give me your drawings, don't give me your, oh, let's mess with a camera and get a flawed observation. As I say, I'll reiterate it again, I guarantee you, any body of water that is standing and not flowing anywhere will be level. The earth is a level plane. It could be a basin shape, but the fucking surface, the majority of the surface is level because it's filled with water, right? You've got high points and low points. All the water runs down from the high points to the low point and it levels out. And it doesn't matter how much you start to increase the size of that, it just keeps leveling out. As soon as you bend it, the surface is not going to stay convex. The surface will just keep collapsing and pushing outward, right? So, end of story. I'm not going to keep going over this anymore. This is why I ignore the sophists. This is why they have nothing. They can keep bringing observations. Observations are contradictory. I've got people who have been to Ailsa Rock that are sending me videos from Ailsa Rock and showing me that they can see things from miles and miles away as well. You know? Let's not go down that avenue where it's a dilemma and a debate. Let's just focus on the natural element, the water. How does it behave? Is it possible for vast bodies to be clung and curving round the exterior of a shape? No. How do we know that? Because we test it and observe it every single day in practical reality. These videos of the supposed ISS and globs of water, that is not the natural environment. We live in the natural environment, right? This is where we live, in air, in the pressure. So it's how does liquid behave here, no in their contrived conditions. Oh, air fission, a vacuum, There's this fucking big band of pressurised air
Dad,
that we live in,
Vincent,
right?
Dad.
Yeah, boy. Well, there he's showing me other objects now. And he's taking the lid off the tub because he's going to fill it with water. I wonder why. So, no, I'm not even made much of an effort with this. It's pretty light-hearted and a joke, but the joke is on these reality deniers, these people who continue to deny reality, right? And people might think it's nothing, right? But it's physics, right? The earth is covered in water. It has to be a container of some kind. What the full dimensions are, I don't know. But I know for a fact that we've got vast oceans that are standing and not flowing anywhere. There is a container. And it's just a matter of us discovering what that is. Right? There's no arguments, no debates, right? Nothing that any of these globe people offer can match what I have just shown you. It is that simple. I know that some people think it has to be more complicated. It's not complicated.
Okay.
Right?
Let me put that in the water.
So, peace. Hi, it's me, I'm back again. So I just want to be a wee bit more clear on that, just in case I wasn't clear. Now this, right, that is the point I'm making, okay? This here, this is the absurdity of the claim that the globe wants to make. Now I'm appealing to journeymen and any common people out there, right, who have an ounce of logic and reasoning and an understanding of the reality that you're in. Now the sophism that comes at people is purely to try and make them doubt the simplicity of the reality that you're experiencing. Okay? Now that image that I'm showing of the body of the water, and it doesn't matter about, it's just a thin film, a thin layer. No, oceans are no thin film layers, right? It is a thin layer when you take into account the size of the ball. Well, your premise of it being a ball is not even relevant because you have no proof that it is a ball, okay? Now, it does not matter. The oceans are no wee thin layers. They are fucking vast bodies of water, right? Now, it does not matter how slight you want to make your curve, or how big that they want to suggest that their curve is. The body of water will not conform to that. The middle will just keep collapsing and pushing outward. Collapse and push outward. As long as it keeps finding a way to flow, it will. It does not support itself. Right? So, they talk about me and they talk about people like us who are science deniers. No, we are sophist deniers. Pseudoscience deniers. Right? I have no time for charlatans. My premise, that is what I base my premise on. My stance comes from that observation of a natural element that tells me 100% of the time that I am on a level plane, or a container, a level plane in some sort of container. know, we say level, we say flat. Look, it could be a fucking basin, whatever. It's just not the exterior of an object, right? A shape. They push that continually, you know. Oh, it's flat like a pancake. No, of course, you know, we know and we accept there's mountains and high land mass and low land mass, but all that is judged from sea level, right? The reason they can judge it from sea level is because they can be absolutely sure, absolutely certain, it is a fact of reality that if I am somebody in France and there is somebody in America, the body of water between those two, or France, wherever you like, right? I know that that body of water between us doesn't flow, right? So it's level, right? So as long as we're down at the water level on Earth, we are at the same level, we are at the same altitude on Earth, right? And then we can judge the land masses from those points, their height from those points, right? But from one point to the other, the water's not going to be like that. The water is going to be like that. So, I'm making this wee point again just to ram it home even more, because there seems to be these, you know, they're either really stupid. I mean, like, mega stupid to no understand this, right? Or they're liars. So, I'll let you be the judge of that. You decide if they're liars or if they're just really stupid. Like, the epitome of stupid, right? So, they cannot come here and claim anything, right? My claim is that wherever we are, it is a container of some sort. The earth is 75–80% covered in water. That tells me that it is a level surface. Okay? It is not a globe. And that is what I'm interested in. Focusing on the claim, which is a globe. Right? I stick purely to natural science. We have natural, formal and social science. Mathematics and their equations and their nonsense is part of a formal science. It's a language. It can be manipulated. It can tell lies. Natural science, for me, is simply focus on reality, what is observable, measurable, testable and repeatable. That way, nobody can come along and make nonsense claims like, oh, oceans are curved round a ball. Because we can catch them out on it and say, show me that. Because all other observations tell me differently. So it is not a globe. Okay, and it is that simple. And as I said in the video, I know people feel as if it has to be more complicated, but it really is not. Right? Size matters not. The body of water, you keep increasing it, it's not going to change. You will never get to a point where it supports itself to be able to display convexity or square or silhouettes of any shape upon its surface. It's not how it behaves. It's not reality. So, let's put it to bed, right? I ain't interested in any of these people. They have nothing. And until they come to that realisation and acceptance of the reality that they are in, then they can have a discussion with me. The rest of it is just to be worked out. Okay? What the sun, the moon and the luminaries are, I don't know, and neither does any of these people. So what they're observing, they don't even know. Right? Let's stick to what we can observe, as I have just shown again. And let's see if they ignore it. I really, you know, as I say, it's half-hearted because it's like so stupid and obvious that it's like cringeworthy having to continue to point it out and to reiterate the fact. But you have to reiterate it sometimes because these clowns continue to try and sow confusion amongst people. You know? And as I say, just remember, anybody who's trying to invoke curvature over bodies of water, they're talking crap. Right? The body of water is not curved. Right? There's a perspective issue going on. There is moisture in there. There is so many varying factors and things that we are yet to understand. But they will come. But we'll get there a lot quicker when we can get rid of these sophist clowns who continue to muddy the waters and try and sow confusion amongst people. Right? I think that's about it. So, as I say, a 4-year-old embarrassing these people says a lot. Peace.